and welcome. Listen, I'm still searching for my energy, but if you ask me, everything that has brought me to this very moment took all the energy, and we'll find it. I'm so happy to welcome you to NaTwishe, the podcast, and really excited to be doing this with my sister, my friend, my twin, my everything. I love her in my life.
Your little
For
brain.
reason. Yes, there we go. So I'm like, right brain, left brain type of thing, and we get along just fine. Just a preamble, guys. In between doing years of TV and radio broadcasting, leaving radio at some point, and doing a podcast, I really appreciate the response I got with my audio podcast. And lately, people have been telling me, "Where is the podcast? We need the podcast again." And I figured I love community, and what about doing a podcast with someone that I love and I'm always talking to? So here we are. I will not tell you my name because I need my sister to introduce herself. You look pretty, by the way.
Thank you.
You look so comfortable.
I'm trying to be so comfortable. I haven't been in front of a camera in so long.
Yeah.
So this is
when last
something.
were you in radio?
Ish, guys.
That
People
will
will
be
start knowing my age. That was like 2007.
7.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Hi, Aggie.
Hi, Nisa.
So is it Aggie to me, Agnes to me?
So to you, it's Agnes.
Everybody else.
Everybody else is Mrs. B. For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
We share a certain relationship that is on Agnes level,
Mhm.
and most people just refer to me as Mrs. B, which
Yeah.
I've come to be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I like it. So it's Agnes to you and Mrs. B to everybody else.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I will also have to adjust at some point and just call her Mrs. B. So, like I said, thank you so much. And we do advise that you get to follow us on our social media platforms. Of course, we're going to have individual or personal platforms, but we're also going to have the podcast platform for us to continue engaging as far as these conversations are concerned. But we know you want to know, firstly, who are these people? Then some of you then might want to know, what is this going to be about? So like she said, her name is Agnes to me, Mrs. B to everyone. And what do you want them to know about you? What do you think they should know?
There is so much. But just like you've explained, it's to know that behind Mrs. B, there's a person called Agnes. There's a Miss Know-It-All. Miss I've lived life for you so that you don't have to make the mistakes that I've made in my past. So I'm more open to people getting to know me.
Yeah.
Getting to know the core, what makes Mrs. B.
Yeah.
How you can differentiate from Mrs. B and Agnes, but more so Mrs. B.
Yeah.
A mother of 3, marriage, now going on 8 years.
Success!
I know. Running my own business.
Yeah.
At only age, okay, I won't get into that just yet. So I think there's so many layers that I want to get to know. So I feel like as we discuss the many different things we'll get into, I'll just want to unveil all those little things.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. I wouldn't remove anything or add anything yet to that. I think there's one part that I'd really like to add. So you have a background in radio, and quick story, we might be going ahead of ourselves. That's why podcasts are unscripted. Please give us a break. But I remember going to Yar FM at the time, and what I would get was, if anything, I remember being home one day. Yar FM had just employed me, and I was home, and I get a message, and this message says, "Oh, I got the job," right? I'm listening into radio, and Marty the Renegade, he's the sound person on That Z podcast.
Yeah.
And he's on radio, and he says, at this hour to this hour, you're going to have Cherry on radio. And I was sure that was the slot they allocated me. They named me Cherry after her. She was at the radio station, and
before you,
I was so upset. I'm still upset about it as I speak about it.
And I've heard you mention that before, but it's all good. And I feel like it was all ordained or just coming to a point where we We got to this point,
Yeah.
to a friendship that is a sisterhood,
Yeah.
to a friendship that feels natural,
Yeah.
and just we bounce off each other's ideas,
Quite
left,
a lot
right,
to afford
and stuff.
sometimes.
So I appreciate the fact that there was that transition, leaving FM, then you coming through, then people saying, oh, there's a person who looks like you.
Yeah.
I had heard about you. I can't even remember exactly when we actually met.
We actually tried to figure out how we met or how we knew each other, but we can't really pinpoint it. I just remember that you hired me to MC one of the women's high teas you were hosting.
Yeah.
And we just kind of hit it off after that.
I know. But before then,
no.
It was like I knew you, you knew me.
Yeah.
And then we got to know each other.
Like they told me I look like her. Please leave a comment, eh? I want.
It is there. When you look very well, it is there. I claim it.
Her kids will call me mommy sometimes. Her dad stared at me like we went over none. So please tell us, please confirm, do we look alike? Can we fake this twin thingy? So this is the person I'll be doing the podcast with. So NaTwishe podcast is just about community to us. It's about really having very deep conversations, but solution-focused conversations. And I was once on a phone call with her, and we'll do this like 2 hours, 45 minutes off the job type of phone calls. And one day I was just like, dude, the way we talk, the way we flow, the way we always drive to solutions in our conversations, in our frustrations. What if we allow people in to our conversations? And so this is what we're doing, but we just don't want it to be about her and I. Hence her introducing herself. And as far as Nisa Level Piri, I am known for so many things, and I always love to say that I'm a generalist. Don't put me in a box. Give me territories. In territories, I can change. I can evolve and grow. So right now in this patch of my life, I'm back on radio. So I work part-time for Flavor FM, and I am a licensed counselor. Something that I've just evolved into the past year. Thank you. It's very fulfilling. I really love impact. And I'm glad that I can impact people's lives through counseling. So I'm a licensed counselor. I'm a certified life coach and an NLP practitioner. I don't want to get into that, but just know that I'm a life coach. Particularly interested in the youth and of course the counseling part, and I'm a podcaster because I'm a creative, public speaker and everything. So we'll be doing this with you in mind. Yes. So I don't know, I feel like I've already told them what this podcast is about. Do you want to add to why?
What did you think? Okay, so NaTwishe is literally how it sounds. NaTwishe. Let's talk. It is the definition of let's gather together and let's see how best we can sort out what issue we have at hand. So just like a friendly talk, like you're talking to a friend, hi friend, can we talk about this? And sometimes friend talks can move from one topic to the other, but you still get round to your topic that you're talking about. I feel like that's what people should expect with NaTwishe. We want to bring a community, a field to say, okay, fine, we have an issue at hand. How can we sit together? How can Leo, who's interested in the development of the youth over 90 and going up?
You're gonna get in on that, right? Please don't hate us. But we have like categories. We have 90, which I belong to, and then there are this variety and 70
where I belong to. I kind of feel like I'm in the betweener, like I'm a 90 and 80, and I sometimes flow with the 70s for obvious reasons that we'll get to find out later.
And Mr. B.
Don't be upset, you just discussed.
No, I didn't. Oh, God.
But I just feel like I'm an in-betweener. I was born right when we're transitioning between 80 to 90. So it makes me feel like I'm old enough to belong to the 80s and young enough to still chill with the 80s. With the 90s.
That's me.
Yeah, the 90s. So I feel like she's more passionate about that, the young ones, and I'm more passionate about how can I bring the young ones to understand the way of a child carry. Of a toilet the reason, of what kind of quality am I emotions that me I feel like this and I feel like this. Sometimes you need the balance of it, and that's what you get between me and Level. is because she brings the feel to it, and I bring the tough to like, no, just toughen it up.
Right.
Let's do this.
Right.
But then again, we come to a conclusive,
Yeah.
solution
Yeah.
to say, okay, no,
Because I also
solution
feel
is
as
like
though
this.
the balance really is there's an understanding, like a prior understanding. This is back in the days, right? But also I get to be exposed to what life is now, and to then how it would affect emotions, it would affect decisions, it would affect transitions, right?
Yeah.
And so the balance really is, how will we, navigate certain topics when we have this perspective and this perspective. I'm not saying we agree all the time, but our sort of relationship is such that there are lots of questions that we ask between each other. Like, so what do you think this?
Why do you think like that?
And so your decisions are always informed with the knowledge of the old and the new and what's practical. I really like that you introduce a lot of practicality to my life versus just, illusions and fantasies and theories. I really like that because I can really be idealistic, guys.
I was about to say, reach by 90.
We're very idealistic.
We
just went in, but
you read, and you feel like it has to be
theories.
That. So I feel like NaTwishe for me, and that's why I was excited when we came up with the idea. I was like, yes, we need this. We need. I felt.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a lot of I felt, because we like to.
We feel a lot.
we like to own our own situations. We don't want to put it upon anybody.
That's true.
We felt we needed people to just see how best we navigate through some of the things that people would think are so. Like, you can't talk about this.
Yeah.
Like, even just me and you being friends, of which we are more than sisters.
Yeah.
Is you are young and married. I am married with a husband, and it still works.
Right.
And to some people out there, it will just be like, Niche ready for what are you trying to do? Oh, they're trying to stay young for whatever reasons, or what
is that how you felt though? Is that how you felt that doing this would be like you holding on to your younger self?
At some point it did.
Yeah?
At some point it did. I was like, am I still trying to hang on to Cherry? I still trying to vibe.
Oh my gosh, Cherry.
I still try to
Why
vibe.
did you call yourself Cherry?
Okay. So NaTwishe will be about us talking about topics. But I feel like we should have a segment where it's like story time. Like when we say, okay, I have a story about that. Like this situation, you have a story?
I'm happy that this is the first and introductory video, so we can be all over the place. But you're thinking about like like story time, right? But also I was thinking we should definitely have like Q&A, like send in your questions, and we can have a little box and we can just hear what Mrs. B's I was about to say Cherry, Mrs. B's contribution is versus Nisa Lewopiri's counselor / coach / single young woman comment would be.
You're right. I think we should have the story time and also the Q&A. I think
we should figure it out.
Eventually, we always do.
Do you think we're good to get into like a topic right now? I have something.
Before I tell my story, Cherry.
Do you really want to tell that story? No, in the next podcast.
Oh, I think I don't. Mine's after
no,
thinking
you
about
don't.
it.
No.
Considering where the name came from.
Whoever the people are, God bless them.
God bless them. We appreciate. Thank you.
I don't appreciate them. My name is Nisa Lewopiri. Thank you so much.
And I like this.
But we're quickly going to get into a topic because we did want you to get a feel of what this is about. We can be random. Did you want to share who this podcast is for?
Yeah.
Because we're talking who are we addressing, so that if anybody decides to share a link, they're actually sharing the link to somebody who this is for.
I don't know. Should we?
Yeah. Perhaps this is for everyone. This is for everyone, and I wouldn't like to sieve through and say this one and this one. We're going to talk about conversations that affect everybody, like us. And if you're different from us, that's still okay. But if you're anyone like us who's just trying to navigate the social, economical, political, the spiritual aspects of life and living, this is definitely for you. would want to hear your opinions as well. And very, very soon would want to be able to extend an invitation to our viewers and say, listen, do you want to shoot a podcast with us and different topics? And you just come through. It's topic based, not guest based or guest focused. It's topic focused. Yeah. So what is the issue? And let's share our opinions around it. So if you came in as a guest, we wouldn't be focusing on you. And God bless you, but we want to hear your mind on the topic. So for today, we're gonna get into a quick topic. You did introduce yourself and talk about who you are. Mm-hmm. This is Mr. B's wife and hon. And
I have a story about that as well.
How Han came in.
No, just something else.
Oh, weird.
No, like, he's called me Han for the longest time. So
you told me I'd say Han. I say Han now because of you.
I know, because even our son, our firstborn, he called me Han until he was like, what, 2? What? It was like, Han.
That is so cute.
Nika didn't know that you're supposed to call someone like Mom.
That is so cute.
Yeah, so.
But you have 3 amazing babies.
Yeah.
And you're a business owner, you're like a go-getter, get things done type of woman. At the same time, you're a friend. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to talk about relationships and particularly friendships. Because this is where you find us. You find us at a point where 2 friends who love each other about to navigate this podcast space. Jesus.
Yeah, and I like it for us to start with friendship and relationships because I want the podcast or the listeners,
viewers and listeners, yeah,
to be the friend with us, to be our friends as we encounter the different types of topics and as we talk about the many types of topics that we bring about. So I like the fact that we get to introduce this with the whole friendship and relationship.
Right. And I know so much of it is going to be about our friendship, but where do you want to start from? What do you define as a friendship?
Let me get comfortable.
Please.
For the longest time, I think I did not understand exactly what a friend is supposed to be. For me, I bring everybody in.
Right.
So I noticed that I was more of everything and nothing at the same time.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think as we talk about friendship, I want to know, like, what are the expectations?
Right.
People have expectations on your friends. People have there's a way friendship is done these days.
Yeah.
Which is so different from what I knew a friendship was.
Yeah.
And I want also to also talk about the different types of friendships, relationships that can,
right,
be in the category of relationship and friendship.
I really like the questions that you raise, hey? So you're talking about growing up, friendship was everybody in. So if you live in a street, everybody you know what I mean? And I feel as though times have really changed because now you could be living in a street and people don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll give you a great example, even at my age. Walking down our streets, the only people that I'm likely to speak to are the older people and the younger people, the kids, the babies.
But people
in my age bracket, I'm always I find that we are so sensitive, we can be idealistic, but also we can have very unrealistic expectations. Yeah. So I find it easy to navigate the older generation and say, Mashuke and Mulishani, or and then the little kids is always, Auntie, how are you? And it's easy. But with the people in my age bracket, I'm just like, peace out, And if I know only 2 people in my street, which is really the case for me, these are the only 2 people that I will stop and be like, hi, how are you type. But friendship to me, because with definitions, it's just here and there. But friendship for me sounds like safety, sounds like a safe space, safe home, for example. There's this narrative that I like to give. When I think about friendship, when I think about home and safety, remember when we were young, right? And you went to bath or shower, and you could leave the bathroom without dressing up. So when you Work with me.
Yeah.
Work with me. So you know when you would open the door and be like, is anybody out there? And then you run naked to the bedroom. That's how I find that's how like no judgment, safe I can be naked around you.
I know.
Type, right? And it's like if you caught me in the kitchen eating from the pot, at home there would be that station. And then it will pass,
Yeah.
But in somebody else's home, where in relationships or in friendships that are not formed, that are not real, that are not sustainable for me, I think that's where you'd be like, but what are you doing in the kitchen? Why would you do that, So when I think of home for me, it's really like, can I run from the bathroom to my bedroom naked? And so it's really safety, and that's why for me navigating relationships is hard. Because trust me, I can be a lot.
Yeah.
I can be a lot, and my opinion will be heard. Yeah, and I understand that my opinion will be heard. So I think that's where I would start from. The definition of friendship for me is just safety, home, no judgment, but correction, but accountability. But I will call you out. What was that? Why are you doing? Please let your guard down, try things, type of thing. That's me.
Yeah, I've enjoyed a few friendships. And I think the two things that stood out was loyalty and integrity.
Yeah.
As I grow, I find like these two are very dear to me.
Right.
We can be cheating like this when we're young and young, wild and free. Yeah.
Just went back there.
But as you grow older, integrity, loyalty, and friendship are very important to me.
Yeah.
Because I would want a friend that I would come to share things with and learn this between the two of us. Knowing that even if I'm not there, even if someone was to say something that is out of personality of who I am, and you know me very well, you'll be able to say, not Agnes, not Ifyo.
Yeah,
that's not the way I know Agnes, that's not the way I know Mrs. B. But I feel like nowadays that's hard to come by.
I was gonna ask, like, what do you think are the challenges with friendships in these times that we're living in?
I can't speak away from the other sex, the male part.
Yeah.
But I feel like kwa Nakashi, there's Nakalia.
What is Kadia?
I don't know if someone can help me out explaining. But I'm not trying to go female or whatever. But and I'm sure even for you, it was easy to make a guy friend and have majority of your friends being male than female. But the older you grow, you find that you can't maintain as your friends.
Right.
Because you need your sister circle to be strong and well knitted.
Right.
Now they move from mixing their friends as and stuff. They start creating a bond now to create a circle to grow with, to navigate the real lives of of life. So like now you start saying, okay, I need a girl circle that can hold me down.
Right.
And now they'll move and say, I need a male circle that can hold me down, business wise, school wise,
right? And like that, you
relationship wise. You see, I can have a female friend, but as a guy, but there were just certain things as I grow old that would not make sense for me to have a female friend. No offense, there's some people who are
but don't
old
you think
enough
that's
to
because
have
of
opposite
commitment?
sex friends.
Listen, for example, I've had a lot of male friends in my journey, right? But I always have like a rule. It's almost unwritten, but it's like, like once my male friend marries or is in a committed relationship, there are certain things, certain extents of our friendship that aren't possible post them maybe being married or being committed to somebody else. And there are very few of my friends to this day who friends went single, got married, and only because they reassured their partners, made sure that their partners were secure with our friendship, that's when I can continue a friendship. There are others that I don't talk to today.
Okay, so you're thinking I'm talking from a point of being married. That's why I'm thinking.
Because you're talking about growing older, that means that you can't maintain the same opposite sex friendships.
You know what I figured? I'm getting too comfortable. Okay. Let me be a lady like. This is Mrs. B. People have expectations.
So just imagine we're in her office. And she's just like, let's sit and talk.
What I was trying to say was, I feel like even before you get married, you start growing and having expectations. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Think about when you were 18 and 17. Okay. You had male friends and they served their purpose. You went chilling, you went to places and they would be your more like your shield, your protect, your the ones that will make the other guys
go order the
drinks
from the bar because
you're not foiling each other, you're just friends. Okay. But the older you grow, you start looking for a friendship that is more solid. And my point was, I found it hard to create. Let me get back to my point because we do this a lot.
Yeah.
Remember we married G and leaving your friends, so we're coming back. What I was trying to say was friendships. As you get older and as you navigate through life and you're finding yourself and everything, you find that I found the need to start making friends.
Okay. Yeah.
And I found that finding a girlfriend or friends around me who are female was hard because of my two main points I told you. Loyalty and integrity. While last time that I went to career. Naturally, I feel no. But wala shito.
Yeah.
Kwa funa jealousy panono. Tolefo kwa jealous but wala ofeje jealous. Okay, that Mrs. getting married, you went out with a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Then there's the question of, do you even know this guy? What does he even do for a living? How are you going to even stay? And then you find to say, I tell you something in secrecy.
So you had those problems with hanging out with or building solid relationships with female
friends.
Okay.
Yes. And with time, I got to notice that friends come for different seasons and for different reasons.
Right.
So now I've navigated to know to say, who's in my circle for what and for what purpose.
I see.
Because sometimes we would expect people to be our friend in certain areas when they're not.
Right.
So now I have business friends. I have emotional friends. Like when I'm feeling emotions, I'm feeling my emotions.
Like that.
I have a circle of friends where I can just be your friend's friend and stuff. And then I have my marriage friends.
Right.
Like people I can know to say if I go to them and I say, I'm going through this with my marriage, they will be my friends, they will exercise the loyalty, they will exercise everything and they will help me through.
I appreciate that. And also it explains why for you friendship would be defined or would then look like or feel like integrity and loyalty, right? And for me, mine is just safety, maybe because that's what I have gotten all my life. Like I've always had that feel of safety. I don't know, and I don't like projecting, but mine has always been conviction. If I'm convicted, and that I like to say, if you're gonna want to be my friend, please tiptoe around me, because you have to get into my circle slowly. But if you're worthy, I take you in and you're there for good.
So for what is a bit different?
I think you had, I don't know, you didn't tiptoe around me, but you came in easily, and even when you were in, I noticed that you would be sensitive around me, and you would also kind of connect with my sensitivity. And you'd be like, did I make a mistake? Did I make you feel a certain way?
I remember
right? You would call me and say, I'm sorry about today. And I'm just like, relax, you're already in, we're good. But for me, I've always had safety because my conviction is always, if I think I can't trust Mrs. B, I can't trust Mrs. B. If I feel Mrs. B is not for me, and Mrs. B is not for me. So the people who are for me, they are people that I know I'm gonna run from the bathroom to the bedroom naked, and I'm still safe.
Well, she still goes there.
I'm gonna go there, and they're still safe. So I do understand why that would be your challenge. My challenge has always been perception of
No.
who Nisa is. I got on radio when I was 14, and I've always had to navigate the media space. Even before radio, I was a debater at school, I was a basketballer at school. So, so there was there was always that perception of who Nisa is. And that's why I say tiptoe around me. Because if you're gonna come here with your expectations and your assumptions, I'm gonna disappoint you. I'm very opinionated, I call out people, and I want to be held accountable as well. So my challenge has always been perception. Oh, Nisa, we need to chill. Okay, cool. I make plans with you, and you want to take me to some hotel to go and chill with you. And I'm just like, listen, there's a joint I know at Sokone Market. Because that's Nisa, you know, like really chill, really laid back. So that would then become my challenge. And then when I pull back, I've heard people call me a
What?
Our videographer will be like, why did you say sorry to herself?
What? Just
No, literally. Like,
you know what to do. I said, what?
I've been called a bitch before. Yes.
No
I've been called a
way.
witch before. She's so bitchy. She's such a wench.
She's such a know-it-all.
Yes. And based on assumption, because you don't even know me. And half the time it's when somebody gets to know you and gets in your circle, and they're like, you know, I used to think.
You're so goddamn.
And so that's really
so
one
hard.
challenge. And I think we can banner them up as some of the challenges with friendships today: disloyalty, you know, a lack of integrity, assumptions, just expectations that are not even communicated. I have a thing. Any expectation that is not communicated just yields frustration. So you could almost want to find people in a place where, guys, can we communicate our expectations? And so maybe I want to start from there. Based on your, you know, awareness and the challenges with friendships, how do you navigate friendship? And maybe this would be another way of advising somebody who's having challenges similar to ours. How do you navigate
Have you seen my smile?
I know. I know.
Because friendships these days, and I'm trying to be very not tiptoeing or choose my words because we try not to.
You just made me cuss.
I feel the friendships these days are there's a lot of expectations. So navigating through the friendships now is very, very hard. That's why I told you that I find it easy to actually be friends with the older generations because
it is what it is, right?
Because it is
I think I'll start here. Based on what you've said, there's a lot of expectation.
You know the expectations I'm talking about.
We need healthy friendships. Life is a lot right now, right? And we all need safe spaces. I have this narrative, another narrative rather. Friendship for me feels like a house, maybe 5-story building, right? And for me, friendship is like the minute I enter this house on a bad day, there are those rooms that are at floor level. That's now Mrs. B. Like there are rooms. So Mrs. B is a room. And in my friendship building, you are at the first floor. You're the person I'm in contact with, right? I have others. Then I have Rachel. Then I have Maggie. Then I have Grace. I know somebody's going to be waiting for their name right now. Guys, then I have you. Then I have you. There's another layer to this building. These are the people that once in a while I'll climb up to and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Then there are those who are right at the top. We can talk once in a year and we're good.
And still good.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
We can meet. And there are other extensions of the building. The ones that we just put up for seasons and we break them down after it's done. And there's no hard feelings really. What I believe is one way of building healthy relationship is number one, being self-aware. Who is Aggie and what are Aggie's needs?
I think most people don't know that.
No, they don't.
I think everybody's just following through. Do
you want me to expose you?
Are we? We're not yet.
No, we are.
We're talking about friendships.
Let me just give an example to help someone. So I remember one day, Aggie.
No, you didn't.
Aggie gives me a call and she's like, "Hey, hon, I was thinking, were you suggesting were you suggesting like a spa date? And she was like, I think we can do like a monthly budget to do activities together. And she was so stressed about it. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wait. And I decided, let's have this conversation in person. And when I did, I figured there's somebody who's her friend, who's your friend. I'm not going to mention them, who had been doing these activities. We won't mention because then you'd figure it out. And I was like, is it because X and Y did ABCD? And she was like, how dare you? But also that raises expectations because we see other people's relationships and we think that's what we need. But ours is not let's go because you have a family. Because listen, I need to build my empire. My money has somewhere to go. So we're not going to do their activities. But what are my needs? And how does Aggie serve these needs? Which brings me to this point. Number one, know thyself. Number two, once you've known thyself, can we please communicate what our expectations is? When you've learned and understood that your love language is quality time, why can't I come to Aggie and say, Aggie, I desire quality time when I'm with you. So if we're going to be at your office space or at your workspace and you are busy, like, can I do this, can I do this? Can we meet somewhere else?
And can we have a conversation?
And once I've done that, it's now up to you to communicate, Nisa, I think I can do that. Or Nisa, based on my responsibilities, can we push this forward? I mean, I have a friend, Rachel, who really needed time with her son and she has work. And we only agreed that we'd meet once a month. And it would work. So I really feel like this to know thyself and communicate your expectations. I don't know if you have anything
Don't worry,
to add.
I'm still listening. I was just trying to see as we put a note to this. Friendship. What's your definition of friendship?
I like definitions, but I also don't like to get lost in the translations versus my personal experience.
Why?
I would like to hear what you want to read out though.
Wait.
Yeah?
Friendship.
Yeah.
The emotions and conduct of friends.
I think what you're looking for is just the word friend.
Friend, not friendship. Right? Well, because our friend, meaning of friend.
Yeah. Because I think friendship then.
I know it's talking about she goes the friendship with. It's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
A person with whom one has a bond and mutual affection. Typically, one exclusive of sexual or family relationship.
I like that.
I know.
I like that.
I feel like with a lot of things that we've said and point across and said is because it borders around this. Having a mutual affection. Not family.
And mutuality is built over time. I think it doesn't. It doesn't just happen.
So after all is said and done, there's gonna be a whole lot of friendship advice. Of course, coming from what she's experienced as friendships to be, and how I see friendships to be, and how we want to be friends with you. And I'm sure as NaTwishe unfolds, we'll then learn to know what type of friends we have. What type of friendship we'll create with the people watching us, with people listening to us, and just make sure that the mutual understanding, mutual affection is there, mutual love and understanding is there, and I hope we get to create that and we get to feel like that as we navigate through the different topics. I hope the friendship and the friend feel comes in and we feel it. And that's what I like about this, and that's what I'm excited about.
Well, that's about it for today. And we just hope that you've had a feel of what this is to be. It's just conversation, guys. Really, some of us more than others, but you get the feel. And please remember to reach us on our social media platforms. We'll have it popping up, and once that is done, look out for the next episodes because we're here to stay. So hope that you can also stay. My name is Nisa Level Piri.
And I'm Agnes Bisa, aka Mrs. B.
That's Mrs. B, guys. This is the NaTwishe podcast, and we just hope that you can come to this conversation as well. Until next time, bye-bye. you.